guys in the chat. I'm excited as well. We've got a hell of a match in store for us today. So this is going to be the grand final coming up now. We have got This Is Fine, of course, SSP Aviator versus X-Crash, which is XGod and Ashton Butcher. As we said before, this is the winners of the January Cup versus the winners of the February Cup. So everything to play for here in March. Who is going to be the first and only team to win 2 Nova Cups?
It's interesting. Like, I'm really not prepared for this matchup. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it's gonna be the 2 teams that now didn't make it are gonna play the finals today, but
like we said, right? Like any of the 4 teams was good enough to make it to the finals, was good enough to win the thing. I think everyone was just so closely matched. I couldn't have called it either way, and I think this is just going to be a super hype finals, regardless.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward, especially like with the performance we saw yesterday from SSP and Aviator on yesterday's stream. It was an amazing matchup. We just had Ashton Butcher and XGod showing us a different playstyle than Widdowson and Adanis, where Ashton Butcher is definitely the high pusher, the high carry. While both of the others try to like be equally strong in the game, but now with SSP and Ashton facing each other, they both have this very similar hardcore carry playstyle, while Aviator, though, in tournament and competitive games, is always shifting towards more of a team-oriented, longer saves in the early game, and basically sending together as a team right from the beginning on.
I mean, you say that, but as far as I can tell, he's also a giga tryhard on the ladder as well. Like, he doesn't just save this stuff for the tournament games.
Yeah, but Aviator is sometimes having the days where he's just liking to income, to like full income, and obviously it works out a lot for him. But sometimes it's just feeding as well.
True. But guys,
it's very not often though.
Without any further ado, here we go. We are into the grand finals. Let's get the games underway.
Oh, and there it is, Battle Scars. You named it before. You like the spell. You think
I really like the spell.
Actually, very strong. So let's see.
I think it's great, especially on things like Phoenix. I think it's insane. It's also good on Mudman, just because bonus HP plus Harden equals good. It's good on Havens as well, which Ashton has. So I think everyone has. XGod doesn't really have anything in his role for Battle Scars so far, but all of the other players have solid options to go for that Battle Scars if they want to.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look over the roles. We have SSP, Cat, Windhawk, Polywog. Very nice opener. We commented on that before. And then he does have this option of scaling going towards LOD APS with Mudman. I think this is like a very well-rounded role already. I think it's actually going to be exactly that role. Yep, exactly. That's the role he's taking. I think that was quite a safe bet. Aviator's role is looking very interesting as well. He did dodge the cannon that is preferred by a lot of players for aggressive early game. He did have the cat, which makes a nice synergy, but he's more likely to play the Assyria, which is a very strong and skilled opener as well. Yep. And treasures on Ashton. Which is something different to some of his 5-worker openers, but we saw it in the last matchup already that Ashton likes to go for the level 1 treasure hunt these days. Yeah. First of all, this. Yeah, but second, we have XGod with almost the same role as he had last game, right? He does have Anglers, he does have Steeds, he does have Halo, and he's just doing it again. No.
I know it worked out for him last time around, but actually this is kind of... Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this.
I mean, at least SSP is saving, right? And this is the key now, because now you're in the spot of XGod where you have to stay 3 workers until you get the send.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's like having not perfect amount of gold, so you can either go for like a Steed and an Angler, or you can go Worker instead, and you probably push. But in most cases, this is just gonna be a 3-worker game for XCOT unless until he's getting the Send, and it's gonna be at least 80 for an upcoming wave already. So there's a lot of pressure against him.
This is... yeah. I mean, he's staying 3 workers, which is fine. And it does mean that he should be able to hold the Send when it comes.
Defeat? Is it good? I don't know. I mean, if he's getting the Steed?
He goes for another Steed. I think he's going to be okay. I mean, his value is just insane, right? He's on 365 value, only an income Send. Oh, he actually goes for the Seraphim even instead of the extra Steed, which is very, very strong. I think he should be okay.
I think he did it because of 4, right? You kind of go for the Seraphim to be better on 4.
Yep.
I think it doesn't really matter whether you go Seraphim or Steed on wave 3, but especially on 4, Seraphim or maybe a Devilfish, however you would change it. It's a lot stronger there.
The Seraphim is just so strong on 3. I mean, look at this. It 2-shots the wave. It also, like, 2-shots whenever the Bounty Hunters hit something. It's just an easy hold here for XGod. Now he can press the worker button.
Yes, and same as with SSP, right? He does have a very strong opener. He already has the 4 stacks in the cat, so in theory he could go for another worker and then get just stack number 5. Or he wants to shift a bit and get the Violet next.
Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't Send, and that's why he can't go for the next worker. Oh no! What? He just did a stack number 6. He could have done the Violet next.
Ah, so he won't be able to get that Violet now. But there is a Send coming though. So he's kind of rewarded. But like you say, that stack number 6 is just completely unnecessary. It doesn't really help you at all because the 5-stack cat is already 2-shotting the wave, right?
You just get this extra 300 HP that you get with, or 280 HP you get with each stack, but that's about it. You don't get additional damage because you do 2-shot the wave anyway with 5 stacks. So it's not needed, and you could shift it for the Violet and 5.
But he's just rewarded here by the double Snail Send. Like, if Ashton saved here, SSP could have been punished pretty badly on 5 by not being able to afford that Violet.
Yeah, that's true. And we just saw that SSP in the end had 750 HP left over on the cat, so the 280 he did get additional with the stack didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
It was just a safe shift.
Yep. XGod is on 5 workers here. He does go for the second Bounty Hunter. I think he should be fine against the 100 Send from SSP because the Seraphim is just insane single target damage against the Scorpion.
It does. And what I really do like we talked about it before, like the opener is quite slow and going for extra angler is like gonna deny a lot of stacks possible. Yep. But even though he is a bit far behind, or a bit more behind in workers, he does already have the 75 stacks on both of the anglers or bounty hunters. So he's already quite decent in the stack game.
But at some point, though, he's going to need to shift for that Kingpin. Now, the problem is if he goes for it, like, you can't really shift on 6 because bounty hunters are just super weak on 6. But he's also looking... He's also looking pretty bad on 7, right? So if he doesn't shift...
He just had a Send, right?
He's even going for another angler. I don't like this at all. I think he's so weak on 7 like this.
What does he want to do on 7? Yeah, he has to shift here. There's no other...
Yeah, if he doesn't have that Kingpin on 7, he's just dead, right?
Yeah, he can still go for the Halo, but it's still 200 gold. It's not that easy. If you build the angler, you don't even get the Halo. But the Kingpin is going to be close now.
Alright, so he does shift. He will be rewarded. Is anybody leaking here? I assume no. I think everyone's going to be just fine. There was an income Send against SSP. He's fine.
He was just so greedy. We didn't see that one. After him getting an income Send on 5, I think it was, going 9 workers, because he does have those ads, right? He does have the mask and the cat, so he's definitely fine on wave 7 and 8. He's likely fine on 6 as well, because he just received the Send and can't get a lot. I think XCOT could have sent close to 60. I'm not sure if there was a 60 possibility for wave 6.
Yep.
And this way, Aviator just being safe on so many waves, so many consecutive waves, and now he'll be able to get the mask, and then boom.
XCOT is 14 gold short of that Kingpin. Is he going to sell the Steed here? Oh, he goes for the Halo.
This is such a rough spot now, right? Because he does have to do the Halo, but then he still has to get those 250 gold another wave.
Yeah. I don't even know that he holds here with the Halo. Like, the rest of his units are so bad for wave 7. Even though it's only 120 cents. Let's find out, because I think this could even be a leak with 800 value.
Yeah, this is great.
And meanwhile, look at the worker situation. SSP and Aviator both on 10, while Ashton and XCOD are still stuck on 6 workers.
Ashton Butcher, 6 workers. This is like 100% the opposite of the last game, right?
It's unheard of. Like, Ashton's
he's
never been on 6 workers.
Oh no!
Oh man!
It was leaking as well. Being short, it was a safe bet to sell the steed. But this is now 14 gold short, bad leak as well. This is gonna be king damage with a brood.
Luckily the damage is not too bad, because Ashton did deal a lot of damage against the Mimic, but look at this. 24 gold on that Mimic. Aviator getting some serious value out of that, with Ashton going for all of those rats and gargoyles to try and be able to hold wave 7. Didn't work out for him, only giving more gold over to the side of Aviator.
The worst part about all this is that the whole time, now the long leaks, even though the leaks weren't too big, SSP and Aviator have been 5 worker ahead, right? And this was a long wave. The wave was really long.
Yeah.
So Ashton and XCOD, they're really cut off a lot of resources, especially income that usually Ashton is gonna scale with a lot. And look at this, XCOD 59 income.
Yeah, Aviator massive. 117. He has double the income there.
Yeah. And this is now all about this mid-game power spike XCOD will have, right? As soon as you upgrade your first Kingpin, as soon as you get the second especially, you will have those few waves up until 14 where you're really gonna be strong. Like, even on 13 with a Halo, you should be alright. But then in this time, the problem is you could either push, but with the role of XCOD, you will have to go for the attacks. So as you don't manage to like keep up round about the workers and values with SSP and Aviator, you will fall so far behind that even your massive late game role won't matter too much.
That resend on 8 was a bit of a lifeline for Ashton. He was able to push a couple of workers off there. He is able to double hunt again here on wave 9 because he's not under any pressure. But meanwhile, SSP, he is stockpiling that Mythium.
Well, I'm just unsure. I needed a second to look at Aviator's role wave, because he wasn't able to get the Asteria out, so he decided for the Millennium. I think this could have been quite big of a league against him.
Well, XCOD doesn't have that much Mythium. He's only on 8 workers, remember, because he still doesn't have the Kingpin, and he's just not really putting on that much pressure. Like, Aviator can read the board, he knows that XCOD doesn't have that much workers, and he can just be a bit more aggressive because of this.
Maybe I overestimated the descent from XCOD. But now
SSP
there's
actually
gonna be
on fire here. SSP on
so
fire, wave
easy.
9.
They just go for this income sense because they don't care, right? They don't need to prove anything. They can just go for the income sense. They know they're far ahead.
Yeah.
This
there
is
might
massive.
be shutdowns here on 10 though. Both Aviator and SSP are on 25 gold bounties, and there are full sends coming out from XGod and Ashton. So we might be able to get a bit of a leak out here. There is, of course, the Trinity Archer there from SSP, which is very, very solid, but his tanks are not the best.
And all of this, obviously we will have big sends on 10, and we do have likely a shutdown, but everybody's sending on 10, so the chance of taking Venture is quite high for a lot of those players. Which is
just
always
look at
interesting,
the
because usually
income, man.
This is what SSP, dude. When do you stop the income send? I mean, it's Aviator on your team that is known for his income pressure.
Well, he just gets the pack leader there for SSP. That's pretty nice. It is a shutdown, and Aviator as well. So that is 50 gold going over for the side of Ashton and XGod. That helps.
This is actually a problem now, because usually shutdown is not mattering too much in the mid and late game, but that early into the game, I mean, 10 is still quite early in the current meta, that tends to go at least to 50. it's gonna matter a lot, and especially with Xgold's role that is going to scale. Now he does have the Kingpins, he does have the Exec, he does have the Venture potential. I think this is just really helping them, and now Xgold might be in a situation to come back quite hard. Venture, Exec, with those Kingpins, he is in a really good spot now to come back and actually take a lead.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Now we see Aviator and SSP. They are still ahead on the power scoreboard, but they're no longer on fire. So they have closed that gap there with the leaks on 10, with the shutdowns, and with the king damage. Ashton and Xgold, they were very far behind, and they still are, don't get me wrong. Like, they still have fewer workers by quite some margin. They have way, way less income.
Okay. And now there's this one thing. Usually you are able to like not see what spell your opponents took. In this game, you will definitely see what spells are taken by everyone, because you do see the movement on the health bar if somebody's taking Sadia, right? Yeah. Both teams had lost some HP before. You will see next wave, you will see the battle scars. So Venture is the last possibility, but obviously since you want to undercut Venture, you would have to decide now. So the battle scars could still be an option when you have to decide.
Now they see Xgod's egg. Is he going to lose the egg though?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh Xgod! Oh
this is
no!
Such a disaster.
That's really bad.
What happened here though?
Really bad. I mean, he just didn't have the value, right?
No, you know what happened?
The Halo died straight away.
He sold the Polywalk because I think he thought he can venture up to 115 gold, but it got changed, right? And he had 108 gold, sold the Polywalk because I think he wanted to get his extra venture and therefore killed the Halo.
Oh, Xgod, oh no, that's such a costly mistake there. Losing his egg on 2 stacks. Man.
He had the chance to come back so hard, and now he's just staying on 10 workers for an insane amount of time, and he's not able to get another egg down because he doesn't have money.
There are income sends here. He does have enough money for a second egg if he wants one. He does go for it.
Because of sending, yeah.
Does go for it. Oh no, he doesn't. He changes his mind.
Yes, no.
He's playing bait the casters again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's.
He does go for it.
I don't know. He does have to change this one though, right?
He's only getting an income send.
He's not looking great.
Be okay.
I mean, what does he get? He gets a double Drake, Snail, the rest of the spells. I mean, we have to think about it. Out of this value Xgod has, he does have 1.8k, let's say, and then out of those 1.8k value he does actually have without the Exec, there's still 150.
He's fine.
Value just stacks.
He's totally fine here. It's kind of close on the Kingpin.
It is close,
but I think he's okay. Yeah, he is. And Ashton,
it shouldn't be much more. It shouldn't be much more.
Well, the Kingpin does die.
Oh no. Oh. One Drake might not die, right?
Oh, is he going to lose another egg? Is he going to lose another egg?
So close.
No, it's so. I think the Halo's got this. Wow, that was Xgod, my man. You were going to be. If he loses another egg there, it's just game over.
No,
Xgod, no. He's playing bait the caster. There's no way. There's no way he does 3 eggs here. He just loses all 3.
Yeah, of course. This would be huge int. Okay, like there's this one situation where this is a.
He's playing bait the casters.
Why?
Can you make this a devilfish? He can.
Those eggs are gonna
just
die,
75
right?
gold. I mean, he might be okay. He's got a decent tank value. I think he should have spent the 75.
Right? This one Halo is his damage.
And he even built another bounty hunter here, which is taking mana away from the Halo. I think he's okay against no send.
Oh yes, he still does have the Kingpin. Yeah,
he's okay. That's kind of rewarded there, I think, for the greed. But if he had gone for 3 eggs, I think he definitely loses all 3 of them.
Okay, now I think we have focused a lot on Xgod. We have Ashton going for the 5 Reds treasure hunt on this wave 13, on top of getting this nice and juicy 300 gold from the Venture.
And he hunts them again?
Treasure hunt once again. Nice. That's lovely.
Xgod surely has to go for another Kingpin here. No, he says no. He's going for the Lord of Death, but I would prefer that he just hide that. Honestly, like he can just make the Kingpin here to be safe on this wave where he has an egg, and then just throw up a surprise Hades for 15. Right?
Let's be honest. He has to sell his Devilfish, right? There's a Devilfish taking the Butcher and the Lion spot.
He'll have to sell it at some point.
Go for the LOD there.
I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but I would have much preferred a Kingpin here rather than the Lord of Death. Because he could have just shifted to get the Hades anyway, right?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter. Like, you probably don't even need the Hades for 15 with your value. I think there's no real need for the Hades. You can just go for the Arc of Justice and then a Pegasus as well. Should be fine.
But Ashton now starting to take over the income. He is doing Ashton things once again. So it is worth pointing out that SSP and Aviator continue to save. They both have already 340 Mythium each. And whenever they decide to send, because it's not 15, this is going to be pretty dangerous, right?
16, right? It kind of has to be 16. You do have this weaker wave for Xcode on 16. Maybe this is why he already targets the Hades, because Hades is at least one of the best units he does have for 16, together with the Linus.
Yeah, I think it will be 16, but I think Xcod's value is just going to be through the roof there. I don't see him leaking.
Xcod's value is going to be insane on 16. On top of this, Ashton, look at Ashton. I mean, if he's not OP on 16, I don't know what build will be. Like, he's having Orchids, he's having Varks, he's having Ranger, he's having Coil. Like, what else do you want here?
And remember, he still has 5 rats underground as well, so if he ever feels threatened, he just needs to keep them above ground to fight, and he's going to be completely fine just with insane amounts of value on the board.
Yes. And those rats are going to give Ashton so much Mythium on top of the worker that are close to the ones SSP has.
Yeah.
Like, we can see it. We just had a massive lead on Aviator and SSP, and now the lead is getting closer and closer every time a wave ends, because there's this massive amount of...
But everybody saves. Everybody saves. There's no 16 cent coming out from any of the players. I guess
the longer they save, the more Xcode is going to be in the lead, right? He does have his O value. He does have decent income, right? It's not too far away from the one Aviator does have, and he does have by far the best scaling role out of all those. So I think, yeah, he's looking really, really good.
But when's it going to be the send? Because Ashton's kind of weak 17, but Xcode is insane. Oh, Ashton, no, he expects the send here. So he doesn't treasure hunt. He even sells one of the rats there to boost his orchids.
Yeah,
that's a
45 gold. That's one worker.
That's a bit of a blunder there from Ashton. Like, he was expecting the send here on 16, it doesn't come, and that just makes it so much harder for him now to hold wave 17 if they decide to send there.
I mean, he still does have 4,000 value right on wave 16, so he's gonna have a lot of value next wave, and he's obviously a bit under, but he's still gonna be okay in terms of probably not leaking 100.
Nobody sends again on 17. So this is just gonna be a straight 18 play, right?
Yeah, well, Xcode is so OP on 18.
He is strong, but the send's gonna be immense there. We're gonna be looking at like 900 send from SSP.
Yeah, you could, in theory, Xcode and Ashton, they can just go for Income King, and then they won't die once again. It's pretty simple, like last game, right? Xcode and Ashton, they just have to do Income King, and they know that Xcode by far has the best roll for 20, and as they don't die pre-20, they will win.
Yeah, but we have full Harden here from SSP, we have double Golem Harden there for Aviator. So I think wave 18 is looking really solid now for Ashton and Xcode to send.
It has to be 18, right? I mean, especially with those Hardens on SSP and Aviator, it kind of implies that it's going to be 18 on top of this. Well, they haven't been shining that much for 18, even though you do have the Asaria and Daphnes on Aviator. Even I think the majority of all the masks are boosted now.
This is
and
going to
SSP
be...
obviously a lot of archers.
What? SSP and Aviator don't send here?
They're so mental.
They're just dead.
Those guys are so mental.
They're dead. They're certainly dead.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I mean, Aviator has the potential to burst units on wave 18, right?
But he has 2 D-hardened golems. SSP has 5 D-hardened mudmen. I just think
the masks, right? Each unit the Daphnes attack are gonna be killed within seconds because the masks are basically always attacking that unit with every second attack. You do have the Assyria going for that. You do have the big mask on the other side. 4 big masks boosted. You do have some attack speed slow.
Look at the values though. Minus 990 for SSP, minus 725 for Aviator.
And it's so small against Aviator. Look at this. Perfectly tanking the Assyria, right? It's just bursting the units. One's already down. The mask. Look at this. Look at how the units are burning down. Aviator is just a monster in this wave and getting a small stand on top.
But now all of his tanks are dead. All of his kiting split is dead.
Yeah. But all of the units of the wave are dead as well. Like Aviator is just melting that wave. Who cares?
On SSP, Aviator's holding. Aviator's holding at minus 725 with double D-hardened golems. Dude.
He was a monster on that wave, right? But now, there's the thing. They have to send down win 19. I said it before. You have to get after wave 19 as X-God and Ashton because you have this OP roll on X-God. And I do really like the play they're going for because they're aware of this fact. They have to go for this all-in send, and it's gonna be 19, the weakest wave of Ashton and X-God.
Yeah. Here comes the big send. Ashton and X-God. Don't know if they expect it here because they didn't go for England King. X-God's value is insane, but I mean, look at this. He's minus 1400. Ashton's minus 1400.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orchids boosted. 7 orchids boosted.
But there's a ton of snails coming from Aviator, so it's going to waste a lot of those valuable orchid shurikens.
I love this game. Holy shit, there's a king ups. Okay, just want to say there's no king ups.
So they have full king, but the sends are huge. There's over 1,000 in both lanes. We have got the rats spending a lot of time for the wave to kill, but at least the witch is able to take advantage of that in Ashton's lane.
You know what's the best? 5 minutes before us, Shadowwings calling the 18 and Joe calling the 19.
These guys know what the overbuilding starve is all about.
Oh, look at this!
X-God's doing insanely well. Ashton does leak a lot there.
It's not enough. There's 2 shamans still. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
143% on Ashton, 108% on X-God.
This is lethal.
Well, a lot of it is low though. Like it's big percentage-wise, but there's a bunch of frogs in there, and a lot of the wave creeps are low.
I think Lightning Hammer is like one of the worst spells for this wave.
Yeah, 4 shamans.
Oh, this is lethal.
It's way too much damage.
Oh
way
my
too
God.
much damage.
This is so massive. This is so great.
Wow, dude. So that's a quick 1-0 on the board in favor of This Is Fine.
Holy shit. This was so amazing.
I mean, if you look at the graph, they were actually ahead the entire game, right? So SSP and Aviator, remember they had way more workers. They were putting on a ton of pressure in the early game. If I scroll back through the waves there, we can see, let's look at some of the turning points. Like if we have a look at wave 7, for example, SSP and Aviator both on 10 and 9 workers, while Ashton and X-God only have 6, and they both leak. That's the more important part. So despite staying on 6 workers until wave 7, they both managed to leak there. And again, I've got to say that's kind of because X-God didn't want to sell his steed there on wave 7. Like he played the Halo, he played the double poly. He could have just sold the steed and like guaranteed a hold, then they wouldn't have taken any king damage. Maybe things would have turned out differently.
Very likely, right? Him just selling the steed, going for the kingpin, this is a safe hold for him. There's no doubt.
He was a little bit greedy there, and he did pay for it, because then not only does he leak there, but he also can't really push very hard because he still doesn't have that kingpin power spike. He actually doesn't get one until wave 10.
Yeah, I think like this is for sure probably the most important wave to mention, where SSP and Aviator actually were able to take the lead. But then this broken Hexagon 11. This is a neck breaker.
We can't forget the Hexagon 11. And he did have polys in the split, you're right. Like, if he just keeps those polys, I think he probably holds, right? Because the Halo's going to stay alive a bit longer, it's going to deal some more damage. And he only leaked two creeps, right? And one of them was quite low as well. So I've got to think that if he still had those polys in the split, he's probably holding there on 11.
This is actually amazing. I love the play, like just how it turned out. It reminds me so much of the broken Assyria Butcher combos in the beginning, where we were just going for like, okay, we're going 13, 19 or whatever, just to break this combo. This exactly felt like such a game, and it worked so well for them, right? Being so brave to not send 18 after full hardening both of them.
That was insane to me, dude. Like, that was absolutely insane. Aviator holding there. I know, like, he's got so much time in that split with all of the masks, but he's minus 700 value, and he has 2 dehardened golems. I'm honestly super surprised that he was able to hold that.
But he knows that he can't get a lot because Xcot going for the XX.
Yeah, so just doesn't have any
workers. Had to be no workers, and on top of this, all the time he was still trying to get this XX. He never got a cent, right?
That was insane. Like, Aviator just clearly able to push that build to its absolute limits, pulling out the hold there on 18 while being insanely undervalued, and that was just
really crazy.
It was completely game winning for them. It was completely game winning for them. And then we just saw a killer blow there on 19. Like, Ashton and Xcod just not able to hold against those 1,000 Mythium set.
This is insane.
Yeah, absolutely nuts, dude. Absolutely. But let's see if we can hop into the next lobby, because I'm looking for some more exciting games, dude.
I hope we see 5 of those games today, right?
Yeah,
or more of those. My neighbors are gonna love me when I start to shout around in the first week.
I think Aviator and SSP are talking about reversing the send order. But it's Ashton's choice, right? Because they lost.
Well, I don't know what... I mean, maybe Axel and Ashton are in a position where they want to swap as well.
Yep.
Those first games, so we can pick. Yeah, he's right about that fact. Maybe this is a reverse psychology, though. They tell them to swap the sends and make Xcot and Ashton swap them.
Okay, so Ashton and Xcod get to pick the send order. Let's just wait and see what they go with. Well, Ashton and Xcod, they haven't said what order they want, so...
I'm still in shock. I can't talk too much. It was such a thrill in the end.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy,
so
dude. Like, absolutely crazy. Like, they just played it so well on the side of SSP and Aviator.
Yeah.
This is what we expect of our finalist teams. You know, it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to be like very, very high level play, no matter what.
It is. Oh, it seems like the next game is about to start in a few seconds. I'm really hoping we will see at least one Mastermind option that is not greed today, just for the fans.
Yep. Yeah, I would love to see someone not picking greed. Like, it's a little bit vanilla, let's say, if everyone's just going to pick greed every time.
I mean, nobody had a problem with all picking greed before, but now, since actually Mastermind options are, or should be, some game mechanic that should affect the gameplay, and still nobody's like using them in competitive gameplay, it's obviously something you're hoping for.
But guys, without any further ado, we have got a game underway. There is a 1-0 advantage on the side of This Is Fine. But remember, this is a best of 5, so anything can happen. And unfortunately, Bonnie, I hate to break it to you, but we do have 4 more greeds.
Well, goodbye then. Have fun. Well, we do have, first of all, Aviator. Look at this roll. Flying Force with Cat and Bone Warrior.
That's a lovely roll there for Aviator.
This man is going to be on 8. Workers on wave 1. Nothing else to do apart from that.
I mean, you know, when the guy who's named Aviator has Flying Force, you know the game is going to be pretty good.
It's going to be pretty good.
Absolutely, dude.
We do have SSP. I don't know if SSP is a fan of it, but okay. He doesn't like Aqua Flower, apparently.
He's going for the Green Devil style, which is pretty solid, and he has got late game potential there with the Ocean Templar and the Sovereign.
Xcod has the Life Binder and Sea Dragon Wildshroom Bark combo. I think it's very strong what he has in his hands as well. Deciding against the Wildshroom though, so he won't be profiting off this first heal right away into the wave.
It's pretty strong on a Green Devil though, right? Because obviously you get that damage reduction, so all of the HP onto a Green Devil is worth more than it is on any other unit.
Well, I 100% agree, obviously, but you do profit a lot from the Wild Shroom getting the immediate heal, and therefore overall it's likely to get like more heals out from the Life Binder.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, obviously the damage reduction on the Green Devil or the Dodge and the Yasora are obviously just increasing the effective HP a lot, or the effective heal.
Aviator also leaking 8%. Aviator got the God aggro, so both of them with a Windhawk opener, but Aviator clearly the better player there, only leaking 1 Greep instead of 2. Just pure skill.
Why he won that last game.
Yeah. Now, Ashton is forced off. He gets his egg here. He is receiving a Dragon Turtle, though.
What?
Yeah, Ashton Butcher going for an egg. Like, what is the world coming to?
You have Ashton going for an egg and X-God still going for the 5-worker greedy opener.
Yeah. Knowing that he's going to leak.
Mental. Oh, but Ashton... Oh, this is interesting. Ashton is going to have the Life Binder for wave 3. So that might actually be a very strong combo with an X-Egg. I never thought about this, actually, but this could be OP.
But receiving the Dragon Turtle here as well, like, it just takes all of that pressure off of him, right?
Well, you still... aren't that great these days on wave 3 either, especially with longer waves. It might be another 40 recent, so he does have to add the Life Binder to be safe.
He is pushing a worker as well, so surely he has to send that snail now so that he can afford at least the Atom.
60, 70, but even with an Atom that is not in the split, this is actually going to be close. Like if... Oh no, he's not going to Dragon Turtle. Okay, never mind then.
He's going to be fine. Like, Aviator can only afford 2 snails here, and with the Atom, I'm sure Ashton is going to be more than fine.
I think a Dragon Turtle would be a leak, to be honest. I think this happened to me in one game, getting the recent Dragon Turtle and then actually leaking.
Yeah.
If you don't have it in a split.
Let's see. There is actually a Brute Snail coming out from X-God. How's Aviator going to deal with this? I think we just assume that all of the other players are able to hold. But yeah, look at this, like the Windhawk is just dying super fast there against the Brute. Already gone. Now, he is getting good split focus between his 2 Tempests, but it's not going to be enough. We will see a decent leak here on Aviator. Yeah, look at that, 61%.
Sure, this hits you, but therefore, obviously, X-God did miss out on a lot of income before.
He did.
He didn't send. So that's obviously... something you have to take into consideration as well.
He did. SSP clearly able to hold the snail send there, but he won't be able to fully hold the leak, so there's going to be a little bit of king damage here on wave 3 on the side of SSP and Aviator.
But you still do need this 1 worker, right? Because Ashton obviously limited due to his X-Hack. He doesn't have too much leftover gold he can push, and so there's still going to be at least 1 more night time where Ashton is behind in workers.
Yeah. Alright, so we have the 7 workers already there for X-God and SSP. Ashton obviously a bit slower with his Hydra start, but he did get the 2-stack Hydra, so he is going to have that pretty nice power spike going on here, and he's looking pretty solid now, at least until wave 7 already.
Talked about a lot of roles, by the way, but I think we never really mentioned SSP. He's probably playing for the Vampire Avenger, but he doesn't really have a lot of tanks. Besides the Graal, his role does not feature a lot of like big meat shields you would like to have for the Avenger.
Now this time Aviator did smell the resend coming. He stayed very high value there, 380, but even so, I think he might go for a bit of a leak here.
Yeah, it does look like it. I mean, you do always have this problem, like Flying Force, you have a very aggressive opener, especially the last patch when the Windhawk was still able to hold wave 1 with 5 workers. But then you do have those wave 3 and 4, and depending on what you get and when you get a send, it can work out for your opponent quite well if you don't have the right answers.
Sure. Now we have 8 workers across the board there for Ashton, X-God, SSP. Aviator lagging behind with a miserable 7 workers.
Oh no, how dare he?
Yeah,
but he didn't take the cat, right? That's why. Obviously, he didn't take the cat.
The cat actually would have been insane for him, right? Because then he would have had an answer on wave 4.
I think just cat over Gargoyle helped him so much.
Yeah.
Like the Gargoyle is a bit better for 15, but apart from that, the cat should be always the better choice, especially for the early game, where you can just leveled it in 30 gold steps.
Now, SSP has a dangerous amount of Mythium saved up. He's already above 100. When does he want to send, though? Do you think it's going to be straight 7 against XGod?
Well, XGod looks really weak on 7, right? You just mentioned it. You have the Green Devil and the Sea... what's the name again? Sea Dragon.
Yep.
With a lot of magic damage on top. All the other units are natural. So you don't really have a lot to protect yourself in wave 7. He does have to shift for the Banana Bank in order to somehow be fine. I don't know if he's greedy enough to do so.
That's the thing. Is he going to be able to call this? Because if he shifts for the bunk, he's going to be in a really strong position.
Right? Is there another option for him to do this?
I mean, he has to do it, but it's so dangerous because if SSP sends like 2 brutes here, XGod's dead.
Yeah, but you do have Ashton to cover you, right? You do have Ashton with the full aggro and Atom backline, so Ashton is really strong here. He should be the one covering.
It's going to pay off for him here. And Ashton going for his income send as usual. And here comes the send. So there's a Mimic out from SSP. Aviator has 140. I don't think he'll get Mimic in time, but he can... Well, he doesn't want to Mimic against Ashton's Hydra, of course.
Oh, it's probably just going to be income for him as well, I would assume.
Yep.
Drake, maybe?
There's the Drake and the Snail, yeah. So Ashton, he has another 150 Mythium gold, to play with. He gets the Pegasus there. Now, this is actually pretty good damage. Like, I know the Hydra is terrible on Wave 7, but if he does go for that Pegasus, 1, it's nice tank value, but 2, it's going to hypercharge the Proton and the Atom, and that's going to be able to do some DPS.
I don't know if you maybe even want to sell that.
I actually wouldn't sell it.
Exactly.
I actually
you sell it and put in the split, so you have the split, and you just do channel all the mana into the Atom, and as the Atom is full, the Pegasus is just buffing itself, so I think it's way better to sell it.
I actually wouldn't sell it, and I'll tell you why. The Proton only has 20 mana pool, so the Pegasus fills it up in like 3 or 4 casts, right? And it actually does decent DPS. Like for 20 gold, when it's fully stacked, it's doing pretty high damage. Look at this, 70% on XGod.
I'm a way bigger fan of doing it as Ashton did it, because you really make sure to get this Atom full stacked, and then you do have the Pegasus buffing itself.
But he's not holding though.
Yeah.
Not holding on.
I think he would have filled less with buffing the Atom on top.
This is
not a play you can do if you're ahead.
It's not terrible for them. They do get leaks on both SSP and Aviator. There was a mole send from XGod, but Ashton was only income, and they're not taking too much damage here against the big sends from SSP and Aviator.
I think it's fine. The Mimic didn't cash out too much. It was 9 gold only, so it could have been more effective.
I'm going to call this one a win for Ashton and XGod. Like, they seem to be in a pretty solid position so far. There is the big Hydra there on Ashton. He does have the worker advantage. He does have the income advantage. I think he's in a pretty good position.
He is, and now Ashton has rerolled, and his roll looks amazing. He does have the strong early game already with the Exec, the full stacked Hydra. Now he does have the Steeds together with the Halo. We had this twice on Exec already. This is by far one of the best combos in the late game for covering those big HP weights, 18 plus. And he still has a gate the X, right? So you can still play for the X. You can still get X down mid game and then just stretch the game to end it.
And like you say as well, like the Steed Halo is just absolutely insane damage. Now that they've changed it so that Halo can buff itself multiple times, Steed Halo is actually insane.
Yeah, it is. It is, I think, by far the best combo to hold 2021.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just nuts.
All right, but now after getting the income send there on wave 8, SSP does take the worker advantage. He's up to 15 here, which is pretty solid.
Yeah. One thing we named in the lobby of the first game is Aviator in competitive games. He's usually going for team sense, right? And we already see SSP and Aviator, they're saving up again. They're around 200 each already, and we know Aviator loves wave 10, right? So in most cases, it would be a wave 10.
It can't send wave 10, right? Because Ashton has the Avenger, XGod has the Halo.
Yeah. Again, what they don't know yet is that Ashen actually does have a Halo to back him up, right? So he does have the Avenger having all this nice and juicy HP and damage reduction due to Swift. And then on top of this, you have the Halo and the atoms with insane damage.
SSP going for a pro leak. He's even going to kill 2 more Scorpions here, so he only leaks 3. That's perfect for him.
They're gonna send here, right? With this aggressive push of SSP.
I don't know. Like, XGod and Ashton are both looking so strong on 10.
SSP has no chance of holding. He does have a Harbinger that's not gonna get a second summon.
Okay, they go.
Have to send.
Yeah, you're right, they go. So we've got Ogre and Snails from SSP, we've got Ghost Knight from Aviator, and actually the Ghost Knight is perfect.
Arc of Justice, a killer.
That has to just be a hold then from SSP now. I mean, he's kind of lacking tanks, but the Arc of Justice is just so good on wave 10.
Yeah, XGod is in a really good spot, and she does have the Tempest as well for later waves, right? You can just go for the Flying Halo, which is a massive damage output in the mid game.
And as we were saying, so Ashton, like the Ghost Knight looks really, really good against him, but he gets the Halo, which is just perfect for killing Ghost Knights.
Well, it still takes a lot of time, right? So the boss is free hitting, but
that Ghost Knight is now down. This might even just be a hold for Ashton.
Oh, maybe XGod is not able to hold because he did not have enough tanks to give his Arc of Justice the time
yeah,
it needed.
That's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about. He just didn't have the tank. But Ashton, is he just going to hold? He is, right?
Yeah, he's holding. He's holding.
And SSP and Aviator, they don't.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. I mean, this is definitely not a win around for Aviator and SSP. Once again, Ashton and
he even covers the boss there in the mid. Yeah. So down to 56% on the side of SSP and Aviator. Meanwhile, almost 0 king damage done there with their big send on 10.
And now we're in a situation, yes, we do have SSP and Aviator overall in the lead of workers, but they're down in king HP. They're down in king upgrades. They do have the worst scaling if you look at XGod and SSP, because their scaling is really damn good. So they're looking a little bit worse, even though, yeah, based on their worker, they seem a bit ahead. Yeah,
for sure. Now we have Ashton starting to abuse those eggs, so he stays on 14 workers. He will get another egg sack out. He could potentially lose it on 12, like he doesn't look amazing there. But obviously if XGod is able to get the Haven there, then he's just very, very strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Aviator going for the tax allowance. He didn't like all the spells he had. I think
that's fair enough.
You could make friends with a villain, I think. That might be something you would like to go for, but tax allowance is a very great spell for...
Yeah, he doesn't really have a perfect villain carrier, right? Like, none of his melee units are really staying alive for that long, and you don't really want to put it on a Disciple, I don't think.
Well, Disciple is obviously the best choice you do have left over, but I do agree none of his units is perfect to be a villain unit. You would just take it for the extra damage on late game waves.
Okay, so SSP and Aviator, they're going for a play. Ashton and XGod, they go for the income sends here, maybe feeling slightly under pressure. But SSP and Aviator, they're continuing to save. And after getting this income send here, they're back in the driver's seat. They can kind of choose the pace of the game at this point, and they can send whenever they want. When do you think they will go for a counterplay against Ashton and XGod?
I think it's going to be 15. Or 14. Maybe 14 is better. Actually, 14 is looking better.
14 could work, but Ashton's going to have a Sovereign with Ocean Templar and Lifesteal there.
Ah, true. I forgot about the Lifesteal. Well, maybe it might be 16 then? I don't know. 16 could be quite good because a lot of people value Avenger with Lifesteal quite high on 16, but obviously it's impact damage, so it won't get out a lot. There's those Spellbinders and Sea Dragons.
SSP is actually leaking the income send here.
Wait, is the big one called Spellbinder? I don't know. Lifebinder.
Lifebinder. Yeah, so SSP goes for 46% leak there. He doesn't really mind though, because he's got a decent worker lead, and of course they continue to save.
Well, I actually think it's going to be a very long save, because I think it was Aviator, when he was in the Discord with us, he once mentioned that the best he thinks to play against XX is to long save.
Wow.
So I think he's just going for this long save and keep his opponent low workers this way, because they will obviously always try to keep the eggs, and this time, or therefore, income send a lot more often.
Yeah, but I have to.
You have the time to just long save.
I have to say this though, Ashton just reading his opponents like an absolute master. He knows that he's overvalued. He knows that he's strong here. And what's more, he knows that SSP and Aviator want to go for this long save. So he says, I'm not scared. I'm building another egg here on 13, even though you continue to save.
This could be a self-trap as well, right? Because now he's not going to be able to get Avenger and Ocean Templar, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he can't.
So this could open up the doors for 14. Or they're gonna trap themselves and just income send once more because they want to keep this egg alive. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now this again gives SSP and Aviator the chance to actually long save, because they likely don't die against small sends on 14, especially with SSP having the Avenger now is himself. So I think SSP, they could go long, or they try now.
Super low value here on SSP. Yeah. There is income send coming out, and SSP and Aviator, like you say, continue to save.
Okay, so there's now this possibility of 16. The problem with 16 always is it's weak against the king, right?
Yeah.
And with such a long save, you probably want to finish in one go because you are falling off a lot.
Yeah.
So it's either 16 or they even go for like an even longer save and send on, I don't know, 17, 18, 19. I don't want to make a guess now. Because I probably would get baited for 16, but then I probably would lose on another wave after 16.
But we were saying that Ashton, with that egg, wouldn't be able to have the Ocean Templar and the Sovereign, but he just can. He just has enough gold. Yeah, like you say, they kind of need to go for a one-shot now, because if they go for the big send and Ashton and X-God either hold or at least don't take too much damage, I have to say they're in like a losing position then, right?
I know a lot of people are not caring about the king spells, but actually king spells give you often a nice decider on what wave you should send. For example, obviously Immolation is quite weak on 13 or on just boss waves because it's a flat damage aura. And same as with Lightning Hammer, which is the current king spell. It is quite weak on swarm waves like 16 would be, because it's jumping to the next ally, and obviously on 16 you leak a lot more units since there's a lot more units in the wave. So the jumping is gonna not let all units getting hit, like for example with Judgment, and so the spell is overall a bit weaker on 16, like Judgment for example is.
Alright, SSP and Aviator, they have insane amounts of Mythium saved up. Ashton and X-God at least not going for another income send here on 15, so they've read the 16 send.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, right, 16, especially with a weaker king spell for 16, is quite lethal in most cases, especially if there's units like a 4-eye or 2 4-eyes on top, right? And the king has to first focus on the 4-eye. A hermit usually does great, because if you add a hermit on wave 16, the king usually needs 3 AoE shots to kill a full life wave, and this is usually... Wait, Aviator?
Oh, Aviator, hello? Going on? Oh, he's just continuing to save against Ashton. He knows that Ashton's overvalued with those eggs.
No way. Aviator's going to do the 19.
Wow. Wow, that's such an Aviator play, dude. We'll have to see if it pays off. Like, he's starving himself.
Last game.
So
Flashbacks
much.
to last game. Is this going to be the go-to play once again?
He's starving himself so much, though, and now X-God, sure, he's going to leak against SSP Send, but Ashton will easily hold this.
Yeah. The one thing I ask myself, because it just got shown by the chat, did X-God actually ever send Giant Snails? But do the opponents know that it's Giant Snails? Because he was sending a lot of other income stuff before.
Maybe he's been hiding it, but when do they want to send then? Like, is it just... It has to be 17, right, against SSP and Aviator. Their values are so low now.
I mean, against them, yeah.
X-God leaks big here, but I think SSP and Aviator are actually in trouble on 17.
Well, no, the send is way too small, right?
Oh, Aviator is sending on 17.
What? But now, are they now gonna split send?
I mean, the send is massive from Aviator. He has Shaman, he has double 4-eyes.
But why? Like now, XCOD is having double Haven, so there's no chance for SSP to break him, especially double Haven. He does have some backup damage with the Arc of Justice. What is this going to be? I don't understand it.
I don't understand the play.
This play. I don't get it.
Because XGod can just hold here now, right? He has double Haven, he even has a small bunk to go with. And sure, Ashton's getting a
Aviator
massive
felt
send.
like dying with all the Tempests he does have, right? He's not looking great on 17 at all. And so it would be SSP's job to carry now.
Yeah.
But I don't really get the send here. Like either you send 16 both of you, I feel like, or Aviator actually has to agree till 19.
It was a bit of a weird play, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let's see. But look at all of the ground units, and XGod now is using his giant snails. But of course, with so many Tempest and Leviathans, all of the ground snails just die immediately.
I mean, right, Leviathans, Tempest, and Violets, those snails are just a waste. You basically don't have to use them.
Ashton, though.
SSP holding, easy. Ashton holding. Or maybe...
I'm not sure.
Nah,
I'm not sure. I think he's going to leak. I think he's going to leak very small. XGod obviously holds.
For 100, I don't know. For 100 shutdowns is it worth it?
Aviator leaks very small. Ashton, his percentage leak is big, but I mean, he's leaking 1 creep plus the range send, so he's completely fine with that. Like you say, the problem is the 100 gold shutdown, giving a decent chunk of gold over to SSP and Aviator. Let's see if that's enough to make the difference.
It's so unsatisfying. I'm really disappointed. Like, 16 was looking a lot better because even Ashton on 16 is not looking as great. Like, maybe go for some Ghost Knights against him. He's not having any damage besides the Halo that might get dangerous for the Ghost Knight.
Yeah.
4-eye, whatever, on top. But the 17 just didn't give them anything. And now you have Aviator not looking great on 18, not looking great on 19. SSP,
I think
no
he
chance
is
to cover
pretty
19.
good on 19. I think Leviathan, Tempests are insane there.
Yeah, but he's undervalued. He's hard undervalued.
Yeah,
right?
he
Like, obviously,
really is.
he does have the chance with the units, but his value is not looking great.
He starved
has no
himself
chance
so
in
much.
19.
Well, one is he starved himself so much with that crazy long save on Ashton, which, by the way, like, he barely leaked. But two, XGod is also full pushing here. Yeah. So we say that Aviator's undervalued. Well, he's going to get a massive send as well. I think this might just be lethal, you're right.
I don't really see a chance Aviator and SSP win in this spot because SSP, he did get a bit more income due to him sending one wave earlier than Aviator did, but he's not looking great on 19 at all. Aviator just having too low income.
Now they know. So they know that XGod is full pushed here. So Aviator and SSP have to send. And actually, Aviator, he reads it perfectly. He starts to push workers himself. So he knows he's getting the suicide send from XGod. He's going to push workers here. He's going to try and leak Ashton.
Come on, leak Ashton now.
Yeah, it's not an easy prospect because Ashton's value is through the roof. And SSP... So this is all going to come down to a race now. Who can hold longer? Is it going to be Ashton? Is it going to be SSP? And I have to say, I think Ashton's build is just straight up better for wave 19. Like, he has a bunch of life binders for extra HP. He's got 3 fully stacked Hydras there for tank value. I think he's looking like a pretty good spot.
What's the plan of SSP, right? There's no chance of him holding, right? He already built the King Claws, I assume, to just delay spamming the tier 1s. It's just a delay option because he's not able to cover 2 lanes. Even if he's holding, what's not likely, he can't cover.
He just has to hold longer. Oh, XGod guessing that Aviator's going to full push, actually going for King upgrades. So he suicide pushed into King upgrades.
So it's so
wow,
smart.
These guys are just reading each other at like a super high level.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, he did full push before, right? And now, start of 18, he did not push a single worker anymore because they know, right? They just have to hold.
Actually,
look at this! Ashton not looking great at all.
Oh, he's not. And XGod does leak, but SSP, he's leaking too. Ashton will leak first. Ashton does leak first, but they have way more King HP. Yeah. And of course, they have King upgrades as well.
And actually, they are on the left side. I personally feel like the left gate is opening a bit slower than the other one.
Victory.
So, I mean, we wanted the series to be close, and we do now have a 1-1 with X-Crash able to bring the series to a tie.
Okay, I might be mad because Aviator did send on 17, but I think this was a mistake. I think this was a mistake. This 18 send made no sense.
So Aviator actually did a 10 until 17 send against Ashton. I mean,
yeah, but 17 makes no sense at all. I don't get it.
He might just have been really scared himself on 17. And I don't blame him because he leaked on 17 after sending and versus what I think is a pretty bad send from XGod. Like, if XGod just sends 2 4-eyes there, Aviator's leaking the entire wave, right?
Well, XGod can't send 2 4-eyes, right?
Okay, he doesn't have enough Mythium, sure.
Yeah, obviously, but like the problem I have with it, I can definitely see the fact that he's scared and all that, but you kind of have to trust in SSP, right? If you're starting such a long save, and then if you start such a long save, you have to finish in one go.
Yeah.
And then splitting up your sends is like really...
That was really weird to me, honestly.
Like maybe they made a call last second, and then SSP had already sent. Maybe that's like something that happened in game.
And then Aviator changes his mind. Maybe. And to be fair, they did get a massive leak on XCOD there. 130%. There's a lot of economic damage.
XCOD never was in shutdown, right?
Yeah.
Ashton was the one on shutdown. So if SSP sends on Ashton and is breaking him, giving the shutdown, maybe this is a play to go for if the shutdown is like mattering. But this way, XCOD not even giving shutdown, only denying XCOD the gold, and obviously giving SSP a bit of income.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe there was like internal communications we don't know about. Obviously they were, but we can't smell those.
I just have to say as well, like how well those two teams were reading each other all the way through the game. Like at the end there, XGod full pushes, Aviator spots it, immediately starts full pushing himself. XGod then realizing that Aviator's going to full push too, sends King Ups instead of going for a full send there. It's just like both of these teams are living in each other's heads, and I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's like a perfect match of tennis where you just are able to counter every attack from your opponent.
Insane. But I mean, we do have a 1-1 on our hands, so everything's still to play for. We're now basically in a best of 3 series. Either team clearly already in a solid position, and we'll just have to see, because I think these two teams are really, really evenly matched.
Oh, this is my nerves. I won't make it today.
Yeah, this is nuts, dude. Absolutely nuts. Okay, so we do have the next lobby open. I don't know if the players need a little bit of a break before the next game. I wouldn't blame them, to be honest. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, I think this is really tough for them, right? They both played 3 games before this final, so this could be up to 8 games for them on this day, which is a lot, right? This is exhausting. A lot of you might think, okay, you're just playing a bit, but those games are going to go till 19, 17, 18, 19 every time, so you play around 25 to 30 minutes, full concentrated, not allowing any mistake, because any mistake, especially in the early game, could cost you the game immediately.
Man, what a nail-biter of a series. And interestingly enough, it's worth pointing out, SSP and Aviator, now that they have the send order, they've decided to reverse. So XGod will be sending to SSP and Ashton will be sending to Aviator. I guess they decide that Aviator is the carry player and they want Aviator to receive Ashton's income send. So, guys, we do have a game on our hands. Let's go. And another Battle Scars game, by the way, so I'll be interested to see if anybody goes for that.
I want to see it now. Battle Scars, it is. Let's go.
But we do have 3 greed picks. XGod, okay, I was going to say, XGod was taking his time there. I was really hoping he would go for something that's not greed, but no, he just decided to go for greed.
But XGod's role is nice, right? You have the Millennium APS Boar, still a good combo.
Wow.
The Boar got nerfed quite hard.
Wow, XGod's role is insane, dude.
Oh, he does have Halo and
he has Halo, yeah. I was going to say, with the Boar, yeah, sure, they had the slow taken away, which is a big deal, especially in the late game, but it doesn't matter too much when you're playing Halo Boar, because the whole point of that combo is the Boar destroys all of the small sends, like any Dragon Turtle, Fiend, Dino spam. The Boar just kills it immediately, and that means your Halo has free range to ramp up on the wave creeps. So it's just like an unbeatable late game combo, basically.
Yes. And then you do have on top the problem that you're not looking. Wait, what? Never mind. I thought X had locked in the first row, but I didn't see the second row still being existent in this selection. But I wanted to say that you do have still Halo and Boar. You do have this problem, especially wave 16.
He didn't pick it?
He didn't pick any of the units?
He doesn't pick the Doomsday, or the Halo, or the Boar? Are you drunk, X-God? Hello?
What the hell is this? Is he gonna play Nightmare Cat now?
I mean, he has to, right? But, like, maybe he just thought he didn't have enough early game if he went for the Halo Boar, but... Man, I think that's a hell of a roll to pass up on.
This was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, Ashton, Cannon, Gargoyle, APS. Juicy.
Yeah, that's a juicy roll as well. And actually, SSP, we were talking about X-God's roll. Look at SSP. He does have the Halo. He does have the Boar. Wow.
I saw it, but obviously he didn't have the chance to have APS and Doomsday on top of it. Right?
Oh,
it was just a massive lead on X-God's roll, I think. It's just massive.
I think if this game ends up going late, X-God's just going to kick himself for not taking the Halo Boar.
What about Aviator, by the way? He lacks a bit of single target damage, I feel. Like, he does have a bit of single target damage, but mainly magic, which is LD and Infiltrator. Then there's a little bit of Lioness, but obviously Lioness is coming more towards mid-game into existence, where it really matters.
Aviator also playing with the double treasure hunt as well, and I have to say, like, he's probably the best like pack rat player in the game, right? Like in the world.
Aviator played pack rats when nobody even knew that pack rats exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the underground workers. Yeah. He's a trendsetter.
Like he did definitely develop this whole play style.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just seen the stream that I still suck. That's definitely not true.
You do. You do. Unfortunately, moving house didn't help you in that regard.
No, probably even getting worse.
All right, we have a few snails sent all round. I don't expect to see any leaks out of this. The question is, will SSP go for the Bounty Hunter on wave 4? I'm pretty sure that he will. And everyone's just holding here. Oh, what? How? How did the Nightmare full tank for the Nekomata there?
The snail, I think, due to the attack speed, it still happens that the Nightmare is getting a bit too excited, running into the hoppers.
I mean, it's a hold anyway, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, it should be. Okay, now Ashton does have 7 workers here.
Wait. What? Is it a hold?
Oh?
It might be.
It is a
Pro League.
It is. It is 7 hit points left on the Nekomata there. Alright. But Ashton loved that long wave. He's on those 7 workers. He's going with a Fiend. Can he bully Aviator off the treasure hunt? So far, he's only got 1 above ground. No, he even makes another one. But Aviator with 415 value should be just fine here against the 80 cent from Ashton.
Where's the balls? I want to see the triple treasure from Aviator.
No balls. No balls confirmed.
Definitely no balls.
Yeah. Yeah, he even has the Warg tanking the Fiend and killing the Fiend.
Yeah, that's perfect.
He's going to be
actually perfect.
He's going to be just fine. He's not going to leak. Meanwhile, SSP actually did not upgrade the Bounty Hunter here on wave 4. I'm kind of surprised by that because it was already fully stacked after wave 3.
Yeah, and SSP once again going for the 6 stacks on the cat, while he does have another Nekomata placed down.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just doesn't know that the 5/6 are enough, but I'm pretty sure he does know that part.
And still no upgrade, so again, he's wasting all of those potential stacks on the Kingpin.
Oh, this hurts a bit. Yeah. Just in terms of losing the stacks, obviously.
I think he just should have made it on 4, right? Like, it was already fully stacked, and sure, he wanted the stacked Neko there on wave 4, but the Bounty Hunter's not bad.
But the thing is, you're gonna be bad in this spot anyway at some point, right? Why not be bad? Why not be bad on a wave where you want to get at least some 6? All right. Sure, I'm gonna take over a bit and give obviously very great comments. So we have Ashton now taking over the lead. I think we pointed out really quick before. He has the gun, he has the gargoyle, and gun is probably at the moment the unit or the opener especially.
Wow.
You can snowball the most with, right?
Yeah, look at this.
It's just insane.
The DPS Royal Guard there just absolutely crushing SSP's hopes and dreams. Like that should have been an easy hold, right? But the Royal Guard just didn't tank.
Yeah, I mean, this is rough. This can happen on wave 5, ranged units, due to the boss spawning quite a bit in front of the wave. The pathing is a bit different than you would think it is compared to other waves.
And these long waves, by the way, really bad for Aviator with his 3 workers.
Yeah,
like, sure, he's using treasure hunts.
Look at the counterpart, Ashton 8 worker. This is just so great for him.
Yeah. Let's have a look at how the Mythium's lining up. So Ashton, with his 8 workers, actually has 30 Mythium more than Aviator, and that gap is just keeping on growing because he has to work.
Obviously, Aviator, 200 more value, right? We have to mention that as well.
Is he going to bully him off the treasure hunt?
Yeah,
that's huge.
Treasure, right? Yeah, 1.
He's hunting 1, 2,
3. 2 more. Come on.
3.
Okay. Yeah.
3's fine. 3's fine. I think.
The question is, is there a reason why he did treasure that one over the other one? Because this would have given him a split.
I mean, look at this aggro. This is like perfect aggro with this one.
As he's getting his tank, I think this aggro is messed up.
Maybe. But Aviator still having the balls to treasure hunt there, I think, is pretty clutch, because if he keeps 2 or 3 of those above ground, it's just like game over, pretty much.
It's just amazing. Ash with the gate here.
Yeah. And there is a send coming in. It's only going to be 2 brutes from SSP, which really is not that dangerous.
It isn't. But I mean, it's a start, right? Ashton with the gate, he's not looking too amazing on wave 7. He does not have a lot of damage besides the cannon. And as he's able to somehow shut it down to get through the tank line, which consists of mainly gargoyles that don't really deal a lot of damage, he might have a chance to break Ashton and to kill the gate before it can summon all the 5 creeps.
Also worth pointing out that I don't really love the combo of Gatling Gun and Gate, because they both are just like mega reliant on tanks, right? Like, both units need a strong tank line to be able to get their full value out, and if you have both of the units on the field, that just means that they're not tanking for each other, right?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, is that actually the income breaker cannoneer?
No, Xcot's holding here. The cat should be able to kill the cannoneer there, I'm pretty sure. And Ashton, he will leak, but only very, very small. Kind of unfortunate focus there.
Fine for him. 10 workers now. X got 10 workers.
Aviator leaking to the income send. Again, more negative value for his rats.
Workers.
He kept 2 above ground as well. Again.
And we had a rat game gone wrong before, right? In the hands of Xcot, I think it was.
Yeah.
And now we have Aviator not shining with this performance, but maybe he does have this secret tactic we don't know about.
Yeah.
The Cannon 8, for example. The Cannon Pionate.
Look at this. Ashton Butcher, 12 workers. Aviator, 4.
This is insane.
Yeah,
this
absolutely
is
nuts.
So crazy.
And he's even bullying him off the hunt again.
And into the boost.
I mean, sure, Aviator should now be able to hold against this income send, but yeah, like...
Look at this income. 125 against 89.
Yeah, that's insane. Ashton is just going to completely snowball this game.
Okay. So we had the send order getting switched before this game, right? Because Aviator wanted to profit from the income sends of Ashton.
Yeah.
But there's this huge problem. This is the same why when you want to play Cartel, which is at the moment not the best choice anyway, but if you play Cartel, you don't want to play Rats. Because with Cartel, you want to end up in a worker lead. Same as Aviator, he wants to profit by getting a lot of sense and pushing a lot immediately. But with the Rats, he's not able to do so in this spot, and this is just throwing him behind.
He's actually leaking again, by the way. It's only a small income send there from Ashton, the 120, the Dino double snail, and it's a leak. And meanwhile, Aviator, 6 workers, 3 treasure hunt. Like, he's just getting punished wave after wave.
each of those leagues is just giving Ashton a better seeding in this game because he's leading in workers, he's full income sending, and Aviator, he always has to wait till he gets this income to actually send it, so he's losing up on a lot of gold on top of all the timing that Ashton gets prior.
Wow. Okay, so Aviator clearly not scared this time around. He does have 4 rats underground, but SSP, meanwhile, he is quite scared. Like, he's 1237 value here. He's only receiving income send there from XGod. So again, this has got to be another win for the side of XGod and Ashton.
I'm pretty sure it is. At least at the moment, right? SSP and Aviator, they seem to be quite cut off from the potential they might have with their roles. They both have Boars. Boars still a great unit for the late game. SSP with the Halos, we mentioned the combo before, but at the moment just not looking as great as
but when I said a win for XGod and Ashton, I actually just meant this wave in particular, not necessarily the whole game. But they certainly feel like they're quite far ahead.
Well, at the state of the game at the moment, I think XGod and Ashton, they look a lot better. Right at that spot. I mean, Ashton is actually on shutdown for 3 waves now.
Yeah.
That's rough.
And when do they leak him, by the way? Like, maybe on 11 with a press the attack send, but SSP doesn't have much Mythium. Like, he was super low workers up until wave 9, where he was able to hold the income send, and now he's been able to push up to 14.
Well, actually, he could work as well, right? 10 could have worked as well against Ashton, who's not having the best tank line, and with the gate, he might struggle a bit. So some shutdown on 10 would have worked.
It's only a 25 gold shutdown, but maybe it was worth going for.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. He might actually leak no send.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's close. He would have leaked to like a Dino, though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the income sent they had, which was 100 pre-income, would have definitely been enough.
And this is exactly what I mean, by the way. The problem with running Gates and Cannon in the same build is that you just need tanks. You need both of these units need tanks to keep them alive to do what they need to do. And if you're putting, if you're putting like 260 gold into the gate and you're putting 500 gold into the cannon, that's a lot of value that's not tanking.
That's crazy. I didn't think about Ashton going for Vampire, to be honest. It's an interesting spell, and SSP and Aviator, let's go! Both going for the Battle Scars. I wanted to see it in action for once, so they are going for the scaling.
Nice. And this should go on the Kingpin pretty much every wave, right? Just because he has so much more HP than any other unit.
Yeah. It should go now on the Kingpin and later on the Boar as soon as SSP is upgrading to a Red Eye.
But we might see a Kingpin just attacking like a Zeus, right? Like if he gets the attack speed upgrade every single wave, that might be pretty funny.
Now, it seems like Aviator is likely to buff his Alpha Male a lot, right? Or is it actually the Canopy off-tanking the Drake? It's so perfect for this Canopy, healing so much, so it's very likely to be the Canopy this wave.
It's a 9 workers, and again, he didn't hunt anything here. All 4 rats above ground.
Yeah.
Obviously, we expect that to change here on 12. Surely he goes for a 4 rat hunt. He does.
Oh, it's the Alpha Male on Aviator and the Kingpin on SSP that are getting the first buff. 450 HP, 400 HP and 3% attack speed.
He would love to have the buff on his Lioness, but unfortunately there's no real way to make that happen, right? And the Kingpin dream is starting to become reality. Like, he is going to keep getting that buff, I think, pretty much every wave.
Well, the question is damage taken calculated before the reduction of the Lioness?
Yeah,
or
I was
after?
wondering that. I'm really not sure. Like, if it's calculated post-reduction, then maybe the Lioness would start to take the stacks, but obviously...
If we have the spot now, the Lioness with 3 stacks is already beefier than the Alpha Male.
Yeah.
So as now both of those units die, it would be applied to the Lioness if that's actually the case. So
but I mean, his Lioness is still full HP here, so it's definitely going on the Alpha Male.
Not on this wave, but on the wave where both Lions and Alpha Male will die.
The Boar actually took the buff there on SSP's lane.
Yeah, because the Kingpin didn't die this wave, So the board taking them. Stacks.
Here's wave 13. Aviator, by the way, massive 9 workers on wave 13.
But look at that. X-God placing down the Phoenix already. But the Phoenix is not in a position where it's going to tank a lot. So this is more of an DPS Phoenix tanking at the towards the end of the game. Or maybe like some shots of some ranged units.
Ashton actually re-rolling into the eggs, by the way, and playing one here.
Great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, Ashton really like had a pop start with the hard push 8 workers on 5, I think it was. Oh, is he losing this X-Tech?
Well, his gun dies, but no, I think that the gates are just going to be strong enough, right?
The gates are fine. Boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Fine.
But could have been dangerous, like probably would have lost the egg to Ascend.
Definitely. So Lions this time tanking quite a lot.
Alright, Aviator and SSP, they know the Send is coming here. They just want to go income, probably king upgrades as well. I think that's a fine play. They know they can't really leak Ashton with his insane value here.
Is this the right time to go for a boar?
On Aviator's lane? He's kind of in two minds about it.
Yeah.
Going for the boar.
Okay, interesting. I mean, he still does have a lot of money back in the pocket, right? Going for another Canopy. I do like this situation, even though I'm not a big fan of Canopies overall.
Alright, so 420 against Aviator, 440 against SSP. SSP, I'm pretty sure, is in trouble here.
Pretty sure he is. He does not really look that great.
Let's
we
zoom
did
into
talk
his
about
lane.
this amazing combo, but the combo has its flaws, and this is actually in the mid game where you still rely on multiple damage dealers and not only on one, which is the Archjustice.
So that's quite a big leak on SSP. Aviator, meanwhile, let's have a look at his lane.
As well. Oh no!
Oh wow, this is a lot of damage actually.
Yeah, it
So
is.
77% on SSP, 86% on Aviator.
That's not looking great at all, to be honest.
No, this is a lot of damage, and they actually sent themselves. Remember, they did go for the income and Kinslings here, so it's not even like they have the pressure advantage either.
No, not at all. So there's this one thing now that is gonna help SSP and Aviator is that they have battle scars, right? So they're gonna scale the longer the game goes. But is this gonna be enough for them? Because they're not looking great on 16. They're not looking great later on. Actually, we have SSP now being so weak on 16, he might actually have to go for the mask here, but he didn't. I think he has to buff a mask now.
Look at this. This alpha male is absolutely huge. 4 stacks of battle scars, so that's already 1,600 hit points and 12% attack speed.
So what the problem is now, the more stacks the alpha male gets, the less likely is that any other unit is gonna take it. And this alpha male actually the best unit to take it. I mean, obviously it's the Lioness in this role, but we don't know if it actually will ever get those stacks due to the damage reduction.
It might go on the Red Eyes, maybe.
Yeah, Red Eyes is still a unit that could take over some stacks. But obviously the attack speed is a lot better on the Alpha Male than
yeah, for sure. Alright, so everybody saving onto their mythic. Ashton goes double egg here? What? I should have been checking Ashton's lane. He's he's nearly leaking here though.
Yeah, but he still have the Vampire on the gun, right, which is actually okay. Or just some.
Okay, there's an income zone coming out from SSP. Sorry, Aviator is saving his mythic.
2x, right? You do have 2x. You have to go for a non-income send. Or am I wrong? Go for the packed mold here, and you probably leak Ashton.
But they're scared though. Like SSP, he's 500 undervalue. He's not great on this wave. He makes the Hellraisers here, but they're all like non-tantrums.
It's the wrong wave. It's the wrong. He had to do him last wave.
Yeah.
He's using no split just for the sake of boar, but he does have one boar and it's not upgraded.
Yeah.
That's not really worth it.
Aviator has 3 canopies, which are absolute garbage on 16.
Yeah, that all together.
I think this might just be game.
Yeah, it doesn't look great for them.
SSP, he's not holding. That's going to be a really big leak on his lane. Aviator, let's go and have a look. That's not going to be a hold either. Let's.
I don't know.
I'm kind of worried, dude.
Awful. The Lioness is still for life.
94% on SSP. Aviator, how is he doing?
Lion's still quite healthy.
He's doing
out.
better,
Not
but it's
quite a hold.
still going to be a leak, right?
It's gonna be a leak, yeah.
And 49% there on Aviator. I think they might survive because all of these creeps are kind of low HP. They do have the Max King spell upgraded. I think they're going to survive.
Yeah, they are. But now what? Right,
Yeah.
have Aviator. He's going for the full send with the 4-eye with some ads.
Yeah.
So he wants blood. He likely tries to get some shutdown of X-God.
Ashton is just in an insane spot. He has 3 fully stacked Hydras with an Ocean Templar buff, with double Vampire Gate, with an NPS. Like, when do you ever leak Ashton? Wave 20?
Okay. You do only get him on 20, I think. Maybe 19, but 19 with the value Ashton likely will have is it's gonna be a gamble.
Yeah.
Ashton, 46 worker, by the way.
Wow. Insane. And also being 145 overvalue while having those workers and 180 gold just in the bank.
It's just crazy. I mean, Aviator, he's still relying on the 3 reds he does have. I think it has been 4 before, but he had to sell one to cover himself up.
I think Aviator's just so far behind. Like, look at his value, look at his workers. I don't see how SSP and Aviator win this, but if anyone can, it's them.
I mean, now you do have X-God being in between a hold and a league.
He's holding this.
So close.
X-God will hold this.
I think so as well, yeah.
And this was a full send from Aviator.
Just a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. SSP once again an income. I think the last chance they are going for is a 20 or 20 plus win because SSP still does have the haters, right?
Aviator? I think he's leaking no send. Yes.
Okay, but this might be good for them to bait sends on the upcoming wave. And if they manage to hold here, they can still go Suicide 20.
Maybe it is a bait because Aviator does have 3 orchids. He can just keep his rats above ground, boost the orchids.
Exactly. So now they can go for the boosted orchids. So you have Aviator with the orchids, which I said, sorry about that, and the Arc of Justice on SSP. So overall, in theory, they're not looking as awful as they would on other waves. And then afterwards, they would have to push hard to make use of it.
Ashton will get the Shaman to go with that Kraken if he wants to. He might even go for double Kraken. Oh no, he goes for the Shaman. Now, this is kind of important here because the Boar can make it so that Aviator ignores the Kraken with the Shuriken. So let's see what happens there because I think if those Shurikens go into the wave, he might do okay, but if they're all on the Kraken, then he's just dead. And they're ignoring the Kraken, they're going for the wave.
That's perfect.
That's clutch.
Oh, now it's on the Kraken. Kraken getting burst.
But he already killed one of the creeps and the mole before they
started
going on the Kraken.
It's all about SSP holding, right? Because... Oh no, his haters attacked the backline.
Man.
Hermit, yeah, that's it.
SSP leaking massive there, 98%. And Aviator, he doesn't hold either. 98% as well. Matching leaks for this is fine. And I'm not sure it is fine because this is game over here. A 2-1 lead.
And to be honest, this was actually the weakest game played by SSP and Aviator, right?
Yeah, this felt pretty one-sided, right?
Great, this one. Yeah, it has been a Reds, right? We had two Red games today, and both of those Red games didn't go well. Because people, I think, are just getting used to Reds players since they got buffed, so they know how to counter them.
I mean, look at the graph, right? Like, it's just green all the way through. Like, from wave 5 onwards, X-God and Ashton are just in command of this game. If we have a look through some of the waves, we can see every time that Aviator is bullied away from his rats while staying on 3 workers is just such high value for X-God and Ashton. Like, every time that happens is a little victory for them.
Definitely. Like, first of all, then the long waves we had, right? We had a leak almost any wave in the early game, and this is just hurting Aviator so much with the rats, especially him being most of the times the one leaking. And then just punishing him.
Aviator leaking 86% on wave 14 while having 9 workers, dude. I can't stress how bad that is. Like
2.9k value, something like this is crazy.
A big leak on wave 14 while having 9 workers is just you can't really recover from that. At that point, it's just game over.
I think he was just so far behind even before Wave 10 to not come back. I mean, we had a time where Ashton was on 12 workers and Aviator was still sitting on like 5.
Yeah, this was insane. Like Ashton and XCOD just start to finish, really well played.
The worst part about all this is that Aviator and SSP, they were even the ones deciding to go for the send order.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it just didn't go well for them.
Yeah, exactly did. Next lobby available.
Okay, we will have XCOD taking a short break.
Okay.
Because Ashton has to restart his PC.
Okay. Camera settings so that I'm not scaring everybody with this brightness.
Well, you're already scaring everybody with your face, but I think you
I mean, true. But the least I can do is try to make it a bit less bright, right? If not perfect, it's still my face after. Okay, so Ashton said his PC is going to crash, so he went to restart. Back in a couple of minutes. Thanks for the understanding. Okay, I might take that opportunity to go and grab some water so that I'm able to keep talking through the next couple of games. So I'm just going to stick up the schedule screen here, and guys, we will be right back in a minute or two. So don't go anywhere.
In a second.
Alright, I am back for the players here. Right, we're still waiting for Mr. Butcher to get back. Welcome back, Mr. Bonnie.
Welcome. This is such a nice series. It's insane.
Alright, guys. Me and Bonnie are back at least, so we're still waiting for Ashton, but maybe we can try and keep you entertained for a minute while he restarts his PC. I think the hamster just needs to be able to spin up the wheel a little bit, so he's probably feeding the hamster a couple of seeds or something like that, so it's got the energy to keep going for another game or two. But yeah, let's. What do you think? Like, we do have a 2-1 advantage now for the side of XCOD and Ashton.
We do.
You think they're going to just take this 3-1, or will SSP and Aviator make a bit of a comeback?
Well, I think this is definitely the Fiesta angle we were all looking for, right? No, I'm unsure. I think Aviator is definitely the one to go for a comeback like this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They just didn't have a great game, and Aviator is definitely one of the players that I would bet my money on to say he's gonna come back stronger and really gonna clap and make the reverse sweep and really go show the opponents now that this is gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I don't know if SSP is a teammate for exactly that, but we have to say that SSP was playing throughout all the 3 games we had so far very well, right?
Yeah,
I mean, SSP almost flawless, right? He didn't ever fall back behind in the first game. He was the one carrying really hard. I think he's really shining, even though naturally Aviator is the better player, at least in terms of elo.
Yeah, I mean, Aviator is just absolutely dominating the ladder. Like he did the same last season. He's number 1 this season by miles. He's like 100 elo ahead of second place.
What you all don't know is as soon as Aviator's plane is going on autopilot, he's starting the client. This is why he has so many times where he's just sitting in the lobby, because he's actually just on flight, but he has to work, and then he's just gonna switch to autopilot, going for the game. And there we go.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, I have some very good news for you, because we have Ashton Butcher back from restarting his wooden PC, and we are here ready for game number 4 of the March Cup. So all still to play for. XGod and Ashton, they do have a 2-1 advantage against This Is Fine, but if anybody can make a comeback, it will be SSP and Aviator. So let's get into game number 4.
Let's get... Oh, Divine Blessing. I love it already. I'm really looking forward to see some Divine Blessing units right there. I don't see any in the rules, though. Maybe the Seri from SSP. Could be nice. Or Divine Blessing... Oh, Divine Blessing, Pilgrim, APS, Antler, Bunk. What about this?
I mean, that's a pretty nice combo, right? That's pretty nice.
I mean, let's be honest, the Bunk
as well
with APS... Yeah, exactly. And Dark Mage. Ranger. Hello.
It's pretty solid. The problem is, if you're putting Divine Blessing on your tank, like even if it's a mega buffed tank with Pilgrim and White Mane and whatever, it only needs to die once and then you lose your Legion spell.
What about doing that sort of a Haven and in the backline you put the Divine Blessing Fatalizer? Going for the extra attack speed?
18% attack speed on
ramping up. Could be nice.
Yeah, cool. 18% attack speed on Fatalizer is going to make it do some pretty insane damage, honestly.
Yeah. So, apart from Divine Blessing, we do have 2 more interesting spells, which is one Creditor, which personally I don't like at the moment at all, because it just feels so much worse than, for example, Venture does.
I like Creditor, dude.
I know you do. That's why I'm going to continue with the 3rd spell, which is Pawn Shop. And I actually think that Pawn Shop is one of the best spells made for competitive play.
Yeah. Really interesting. Really interesting.
You just have the option to change your build every wave, basically. And therefore, sometimes it happens that you really see a player full selling his entire wave and just building for one wave straight to cover this weak wave. And this is plays that you have to read that are just perfect to be streamed.
And I have to say as well, on the subject of Pawn Shop, I've seen Aviator use this spell insanely well, because he's so good at reading the state of the game. Like, he knows when the send is going to come, right? So let's say he's expecting a big 12 send. He'll just Pawn Shop his Fatalizer, build a Haven, and hold easily. Like, he's that kind of guy.
Talking about Aviator, right? He already set it up for the Fatalizer with the Divine Blessing and the buffed Bunk. There it is. Look at it. This is going to be the play.
There's a post-income snail there from SSP. Does that ever break an egg? No, right?
No. But Ashton's showing the egg for the 2nd time today. This is crazy.
He's going to get away with it as well, because SSP went for this post-income snail, which means now Ashton is not under any pressure on wave 3.
That's not true. That's not true at all, because the snail is going to take a long time, so SSP is maybe close to getting out another 40 cent now.
I don't think it's enough. I think he's going to be about 10 seconds short.
Yeah, it might... Oh, no. Yeah.
He never gets it.
Yeah.
He never gets it.
Yeah, never mind.
But XCOD
I was
pushed to
hoping he
6
might
workers.
even push with his opener. I mean, he had the potential to push right with the gun, take the league. League. I can't even speak anymore.
But Aviator, though, he knows he's receiving from the egg. He knows Ashton's low workers. He pushes 6 himself.
I don't know who saw my Legion House League game, but Seraphim actually tried something similar with 1 PV only, and 1 PV against a low send actually league 5 creeps only. I think a double PV could actually hold here. Obviously, just a snail.
The 1 snail against the egg plus bazooka, is it enough? Like, Ashton was pretty greedy, pushing to 4 workers there. Oh! 100 HP left on the egg there.
No. This is fine.
There's a hold on SSP. Aviator is going to leak, but he's completely happy leaking here, honestly.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because now workers are equal on both teams. So actually, I don't. Why do you think he's happy about it?
I mean, he's been on the 6 workers for longer.
Okay. But now they are the same time, right? As soon as he starts to leak, they're all in it.
But it was only a baby leak, right? Like, he's leaking 3 creeps while being rewarded.
I mean, the leak
by
overall
the
is fine for sure,
yeah.
right? He did get his push without being punished too hard. I do definitely agree in that part.
XGod here with 310 value. Does he ever leak against a Dragon Turtle?
Look at that. SSP just rerolling the gargoyles now. If he did reroll a bit earlier, getting the gargoyle, easy 6 worker, egg break.
Alright. So XGod will be fine here. He can continue to push if he wants to. But more importantly, he's now safe on 5 because he gets the Dragon Turtle send here. He's not under any pressure.
On 7, right? XGod so far, from what he shows, he's not looking too amazing on 7. Obviously, we see there's a Batcher in his role, but SSP and Aviator don't know about that. And Aviator and SSP, I could imagine them for going a longer team set, maybe.
Yeah, 7 definitely looks promising against what XGod and Ashton are showing. 8 as well would be insane if they could ever go straight wave 8.
Definitely 8 would look amazing.
And XGod and Ashton may be falling into the trap a little bit. They're going for the income sends here, which does mean that SSP and Aviator are not under any pressure. They can continue to save if they want to.
And this is something I think a lot of people learned when Gates were still played 3 seasons ago, when they were actually one of the best openers you could go for. X, get them early, right? Go for an income send till 4, and then you just save till 7 or 8, and you deny this hardcore push. And in some cases, they just don't have the Pierce for 8, for example, or the Arcane. This could happen to Ashton now as well, right? He has to get the Coiler, but a Coiler can be counted quite efficiently nowadays with a Mole, with a Hermit even.
I mean, the Coiler got nerfed a couple of times lately. Like, it's still an insane unit, especially on 7 and 8. But, like, 1, you can now kind of counter it on 8 with a Mole. And also, it just has less stats than it used to. So it's easier to leak a Coiler build than it was.
Ashton getting saved on, still pushing a worker.
SSP leaks 1 Scorpion here. Aviator, he's leaking 2, actually. So, long wave.
Aviator leaking with on-value income send? What? I mean, obviously, it shows minus 45, but Pilgrim is quite a nice unit here.
I'm not sure if the Pilgrim tanked the boss or not. I wasn't watching his lane, but maybe that would explain it.
It should, right? It should.
It should.
I mean, Ashton going for the resend. And now this is the time where it could actually happen that the long save from SSP and Aviator is gonna find the right spot. Oh no! 3, look at that! It's so great for XGod. Already going for the Sand Batcher, so she's showing the dominance for 7 and 8. It's perfect.
But he has no damage though on wave 7. Like, absolutely no damage, and even less on wave 8.
8 would be awesome.
And again, with this income send here, Aviator can just save until wave 8 if he wants to. He's not under pressure.
Like, this income send is really now the send he was waiting for, right? He can push off because the Berserker getting the heals, if now his Pilgrim is tanking one.
Yeah, perfect. The aggro on Aviator there is just absolutely insane.
Tanking 2. He's tanking another one now as well.
Absolutely.
This is so great.
Perfect.
He's gonna heal a bit though. Heal. heal?
Oh, not in
little
time
bit
to
too
keep
late.
the Berserker alive. Okay.
Yeah, but probably the heal would have not mattered. Like,
I think the extra
Well, would
120
think the
HP on the Berserker maybe
Think
would
so?
have been enough to kill the Rocco. I think so.
the lizard did attack it at least, so it's close, definitely. But this 7 cents. A pack leader.
Okay. Pack leader from
Nice.
SSP.
Oh,
Aviator
is it-
doesn't get an Ogre. He's 2 Mythium short.
So close, so
2
close.
Mythium off of that Ogre. That would have been absolutely delicious for him.
This pack leader now, obviously, perfect if he's able to manage getting the pack leader down to the king, right? The pack leader reaching the king would be amazing because we will likely see Ekgot leaking a bit more since he's trying to reduce the incoming damage with the mole, getting one brutal lizard, I would assume, to
is
make
a-
sure the tanks are dying.
There is a brute to go with it. X-God even hardens here. Can you imagine if they went wave 8?
8. Oh, there's no Pierce. I mean, it's likely to be a recent, right? Against Ashton. Ashton's surely gonna full push now. So you could
Yeah, of
recent
course.
Ashton and get him.
So his Hydra is
With this-
down. Oh, the Shroom comes over just in time to keep the Coiler alive that much longer.
And the pack leader was actually attacking the shroom, so it was denying a lot of damage.
But X-God is just holding, no?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
sniping
Ashton
them
was
all
on
now, it's
fire
just-
here. 25 gold on
God.
7? Wow.
Castle and Chaos players are now less likely to go in shutdown, you know?
Yeah. But not Greed
And
players. They didn't say
Ashton
anything about
Butcher-
Greed players.
Ashton Butcher is basically starting wave 1 with a castle buff, right?
Well,
You can't-
Aviator had
you can't-
to stim here. He does hold, but that was only a lizard snail send.
Yeah, but now you do have the lead taken over by SSP and Aviator in terms of workers, right? You have Xcot who's now not pushing too hard. Ashton already pushed all the gold you got.
I
and
really
gets
don't
recent.
think this was worth for them, though. I really don't think this was worth.
No,
This
no,
was
no,
a
not at all. Not
this
at
was a long save. Ashton leaks, sure, but it was a pretty small leak. X-God holds. There is a
It's gonna
resend
be
coming
worth
through.
it if the recent hits, right? If this recent works out, it is for sure worth it.
Yeah.
But as I know Xcot, he's probably gonna build. Oh my god. He didn't.
X-God.
Only adding 20 so far. And Ashton full pushing, that's what I said, right? Ashton, you
He's
know
on
Ashton full
900
pushing.
value, though. The X-God
Yeah.
is on 900. Ashton should leak
but
here. The Hermit
he's
stops
dehardened, right?
the
He's
Coiler.
dehardened, and this might get sniped, this attack.
Yeah, true.
So he's not too brave. The send is quite large, right? 140 against Xcot.
Yeah.
So now it's all about Ashton because you know that he's gonna full push here. He's only having this one coiler, and as this one coiler is not reaching the Hermit, he's always gonna need 3 hits for the wave creep until this Hermit dies.
Well, let's
Or
see. The Hydra
Bazooka's
is
fucking
going down, but he's getting really nice split aggro. Like,
Is that-
really nice. The
Hello?
Coiler lives
Sniping the
forever.
coiler. Oh, nice.
He's still
Ashton
gonna leak.
leaking,
Still
Xcot
gonna leak.
leaking, and this is shutdown once again.
Oh, another shutdown. Actually, that's important.
Oh, this is so great.
25
This is
gold
not a
there.
turnaround.
But X-God at least is killing every Cobra, so he... Oh, no, he leaks one there on 2%. Caster's Curse.
Okay. So this is going to be the turnaround in one case if the next send that Ascot and Ashton are doing is not going to kill SP and Aviator because they already have a lot of Mythium.
Now look at this. This is a scary amount of Mythium that they have. And again, they're not under pressure. Okay, I was just about to say they're not under pressure, but they go for the 9 send anyway.
I personally would have liked the longer save as well, maybe 11 even though you do have the Chieftain.
The Aviator has the Chieftain here, but he doesn't have a good tank. So at the moment, the health is going on a Pee-wee, which is
Maybe
kind of a
Bone Crusher?
waste. Yeah, but
Maybe
he,
he's doing a Bone Crusher.
no, he has to sell that Pee-wee and turn it into a Bone Crusher, right? He has to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is he's doing it right.
And he does. Yeah. So he turns the Pee-wee into a Bone Crusher. That's a good call there from Aviator, reading the Wave 9 send.
I mean, they're still not looking great, right? Especially against 300 Aviator as well. It's just
300.
not
And the
great.
Mimic goes right, by the way, so it will be able to kill the Veteran very quickly, it will kill the Berserker very quickly, and then it's
Yeah,
going to
the
start
Bone Crusher
tanking
is
the magic
not
damage as
having
well.
sense. Look, I mean, he's sniping the Mimic, which is already great.
And perfect focus, by the way. The Mimic on this one, which is surviving. Okay, Aviator.
Oh my god!
Literally the luckiest man alive. Like, I've never seen anyone luckier than Mr. Aviator.
Yeah, you're definitely not the lucky man.
No. But he still leaks, so even with the perfect focus there and a good read to make the Bone Crusher on Wave 9, still leaking 69%. Pretty nice for Ashton and X-God. They're going to get some decent king damage.
And I was talking about them, SSP and Aviator, now being able to get the comeback, not like this, right?
Yeah.
They leaked too much to make this comeback possible. And the work lead is just so insane on Ashton.
Ashton on
5
19 workers.
leading.
But they are going for another income send here, while SSP and Aviator save. So maybe if they give SSP and Aviator free Creditor, while XGod and Ashton are under a bit more pressure, that could be the start of a comeback?
That could be, definitely. You do already have this massive APS value you will have as soon as he's placing it, right?
Yeah.
As maybe upgrading the next Pilgrim, this is already going to be a lot of value for Aviator he will gain. And I'm actually unsure about this income send because we have SSP and Aviator not looking too awful in 10, only if they would have full pushed from last wave. So I think this income send is really giving them the chance they now need to make the play.
And even with the Daphne addition there for Aviator, just guaranteeing he's able to hold here on wave 10. SSP,
but there's no push
obviously.
coming out from Aviator.
That
There's no push.
Oh, an income send.
Income sends?
Okay.
Okay.
So they're happy with being able to force XGod and Ashton off of the Creditor while taking it for themselves. So they just want to get some economic advantage going.
Yeah, the question is this actually an advantage for them right now? Like, if you have a look at the rolls, yeah, SSP rolls looking okay, not too bad. Aviator having the XX that he's now going to start with, but
Creditor
I mean, you have
and
XGod
X?
not having an awful roll as well, right?
Oh.
So, I don't know.
SSP, what are you going for? He's spent his gold, so maybe he can't Creditor then?
Ashton. Oh, Ashton not
SSP
having
Divine
to
Blessing.
anymore. Ashton already having to use a bazooka as a substitute for his tier 1.
That's fine though. He probably goes for another egg now on 12 after getting the big send here.
What is SSP going to use his Divine Blessing on? The cannon?
Maybe on the cannon,
next?
yeah.
Probably next, right?
It's kind of not perfect though, right? Like,
no, definitely not.
The 2000 HP is definitely wasted on the Vulcan cannon because it has negative damage reduction, right?
It's all about the attack speed.
Yeah.
Like, you only place this Divine Blessing on the cannon for the attack speed.
Yeah. But he could also just put it on a Doomsday. Like, 18% damage on a Doomsday is not something to laugh at.
Maybe. I guess it's gonna be the cannon though. Because Aviator is just not looking great on 12, right? And he kind of needs the cover from SSP.
I mean, at the moment, he's just not putting it on anything.
Yeah, he might not want to lose it, right? But he might lose the game with this. So
he's so strong here on SSP though. Like, the Millennium's bad, but the rest of his stuff is good here, and he's got a decent amount of tanks.
Yeah, but all of his tanks are not great for the wave, at least. I mean, let's see, right? He does have the
NPS will tank before the Vulcan does, but then the Vulcan's going to die. He will leak, he will. Oh. Maybe he should have used the Blessing.
You have a not looking too great as well.
Well, Aviator's losing his egg here. That's for sure.
Well, are they losing the game? Is the question. They're going to leak 10 Screams.
It's going to be close.
Roughing the 4 and they only have 2 upgrades.
It's going to be close. Look at the Easter egg, by the way. That's so nice, like the new special effects.
Especially the effect now when the egg hatches and is getting the Hydra, right?
Yeah.
No, not now, but in the night, I think it is. There's a special effect with like party sounds.
But they do survive.
Yeah, okay.
The new Bot King is strong enough to live here. Yeah. So let's have a quick look at Aviator's lane now. We want to see the special effects. There we go. Fireworks all around. Very nice.
Always firework.
Yeah.
I didn't know anymore.
And he makes another Easter egg there.
Oh, did you, by the way, see the new animation of the Red Eye skin?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, really nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now SSP and Aviator may be the start of the comeback that they were looking for. Because SSP has a ton of...
Heal is the comeback.
SSP now has played his Divine Blessing. It's on a Millennium, which now has plus 48% attack speed. Hello?
I mean, Ashton is 2.8k value.
Wow.
You know what's gonna happen
Wow.
again? Ashton
Look at this
is
thing,
gonna get
though.
saved for a long time now.
Yeah. Look at this
nice.
thing go. Absolutely insane.
Oh, there's already the MPS as well. Yeah, like it. Okay, hear me
Oh.
out. I think you should done another Doomsday on the middle.
Yeah.
Where here, because then you can on top give it the Ocean Templar.
We've got big sends coming out here on wave 14. There's a Ram from X-God. There's Ogre Cannon from Ashton. But
Do
SSP,
you want to send into a Divine Blessing MPS APS Doomsday?
apparently you do. And it is a big send, you know? Like, it's got another 100 Mythium to go with the Siege Ram.
It's up there. Oh, now we have it. Finally. Can we please now get the APS for the predicted Banana Haven with APS buff, Chieftains, and Dark Mage? Obviously,
Aviator
Ranger.
on 3.2k value.
Did Aviator actually roll away the Rangers on wave 1 and then re-rolled them?
Look at this thing.
I think he didn't. I think he didn't take
48%.
them.
48% attack speed on a Doomsday, and all of that bonus HP, by the way, just means it can tank
But
for
it's not looking
days.
too great for him. There's still half of the wave. And then there's on top Aviator maybe not holding.
I think he's fine. I think he's okay. It's getting pretty
I think
close.
he's dying. It is dying.
Oh, he loses the blessing! Oh no! Oh, SSP, no, the blessing is gone.
You should have used it on 12, man.
Yeah.
Egg dead.
Aviator
Divine
loses
Blessing,
another egg here.
dead. Ouch.
Again.
X got 32 workers.
Look at those fireworks all over the place while the ogre wails away with his club.
X got 32 workers now. Aviator losing the egg. SSP losing his Divine Blessing. This is not looking great for them.
But SSP has
Yeah.
750.
I mean,
just look
once
at Ashton's
again,
value.
on the blow, right?
Yeah.
But
When
when
do
is it gonna
they-
happen?
When do they ever leak Ashton? Like, he's already 3.5k value
16?
before building.
Maybe 16. We have 16, quite some problems. X got
Enough to kill them, though, on 16?
war. What's the king spell? You do have Frost Chain, not great spell on 16.
Frost
You
Chain's
do
pretty
have
bad.
with those spell, with those numbers of
Well, he's
Don't
already
show
going to
it.
make Pyros,
don't
right?
show it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the amount of ascent around 1k, you still can kill people on 16.
He is showing the bazooka.
That's. Oh, maybe he is showing the bazooka on purpose to force them not to go 16 and then go for another wave, maybe?
Maybe.
I mean, is there another reason to do the bazooka
Another
here and not the
egg.
king ups?
Another egg from Aviator.
What is the option?
I mean, they
Apart
just,
from 16? Is it 18?
they're
Maybe
just going to
18?
die on 16, no? Aviator and SSP, because Aviator doesn't have the value to keep that egg alive.
I mean,
no way.
Aviator with the egg is going to be 3.3 right now without the egg. Right, so he's going to be on decent value, going Fatalizer Ranger maybe.
But they don't
on
send.
the other hand,
I,
second cannon, I don't like that.
I'm pretty sure that SSP is actually saving for Legion TD3.
Oh, he is for sure.
Look at this, he's
The
got
good thing is, though,
970
on next
Mythium.
game, right? SSP will be able to send 2 snails in one.
Yeah.
With all the Mythium saved up. Or maybe a Centaur, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Centaur's actually a trash unit unless you get it on wave 1, so
Yeah.
it might work out.
And do they ever hold here? Aviator does have really high value, but
Oh, he's not
that's
going
in
for the
an egg.
Fatalizer, so he's relying on the Chieftains.
Oh, I
and
don't know,
his
dude.
egg.
I don't know.
Now a Poncho would be great, huh?
Yeah. Oh man.
Let's see.
I
I think Aviator does have the chance to hold. With
but
the
look,
DPS
the
Haven.
cannon's already dying for SSP. Both dead. That's a massive leak for
I
SSP.
think it was not a second cannon to go. Here.
85% on SSP. He is saving his
cannon.
Mythium for next game.
I mean, Aviator, is this a hold? No, it's not a
It doesn't
hold.
matter. Like one,
This
he's
is
not holding,
it,
but even if he
right?
does, that's like an entire wave in the mid from SSP.
Yeah, there's not enough king ups. I'm pretty sure this is it.
This is game. GG,
Yeah,
X-God, Ashton Butcher, 2 times winner of the Nova Cup.
Hey, and you die like this. Oh,
Wow, well played, those guys.
yeah, very well played. I think we had very exciting first two games, but in the last two, we actually just saw Ashton and XGod shine a bit more. They just found a better place. They were able to take the leads, especially in the early game, and then secure the win in the end. What
a series. I mean, SSP, like, he had to save, I guess, because Ashton was on absolutely astronomical value. Like, we see this 4.8k value on 16 with Pyros. There's no way he's ever leaking there. He even pawn shopped all of his Wanderers from the split, turned them all into Pyros, so he was completely safe on 16.
The worst part is, if he doesn't get a send on 16, right, he's just going to pawn up the Pyros.
Send the Pyros back into Wanderers again, exactly.
Who cares?
But yeah, SSP, like, he's saving his Mythium for April's Nova Cup, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder a bit about the second cannon, right? SSP really not having any tanks, so maybe just a King Claw would be a bit better. I mean, there's no chance to hold the 600 cent with his value here. After saving since wave 11.
He went with the income send on 11, and then he was just saving forever, I guess, after that. But, man...
Those X are really right. I mean, they kind of had to. Aviator had to go for the X to, like, first of all get income himself and to force the opponents to go for other waves. But after wave 14 went so miserably, right? SSP losing the Divine Blessing. I think this was so crucial for them.
That was big. Yeah, that was really big.
Losing that so close, and then Aviator losing his egg only with the Ogre alive. I think those was like very close for both of them. If they just manage to hold here, I'm pretty sure they have a good shot on going for the all-in play.